Hello and welcome to another Steps of Sussex channel episode, and I'm just fixing up the camera because it's early evening here in the UK, and it is sweltering. The heat is so hot, so I can't wear a jacket today, so do excuse the basic t-shirt. It's one I've been wearing all day, but we have just had a little bit of news come in which you may all be very interested to hear. So I thought I would come on and do a really quick live chat about it. So there has been much speculation in the media, amongst Harry and Meghan critics, amongst Harry and Meghan fans. There has been lots of speculation across the board about how Harry and Meghan intend to earn their living once, obviously, they are up and running in terms of becoming financially independent. We know that a long-term goal, in fact, one of the main drives of their move was to become financially independent. So most people would expect that at some point Harry and Meghan would have to start earning their own money. Where the speculation has come in to all of this is how they intend to earn their money. There has been many people trying to guess what it will be. All we did know from when Harry and Meghan stepped back as being working members of the royal family, was that they were going to adhere to and respect the values and standards of the Queen. We know all of this. However, we do have a new piece of information. Omid Scobie tweeted 2 hours ago, and I will read the tweet and then we'll discuss the article. A source tells Harper's Bazaar US that the couple will engage, and this is in quotes, in moderated discussions and keynote speeches with trade associations, corporations and community forums. Topics will relate to the social issues our world is facing today, including racial justice and gender equality. So, Harper's Bazaar has been getting quite a lot of credible news coming in the past probably year, 2 years. Obviously, most people think and believe that Omid Scobie is one of the journalists who Harry and Meghan do communicate with, not necessarily in person, but by sources, shall we say. Again, we don't know who those sources are. I think this is likely to possibly be true. I think also a big major US newspaper has reported it also. So it's all looking like this is true. Although, we don't have any confirmation from Harry and Meghan. Whether we will or not ever, I do not know, because obviously this will form, if it is true, part of their own private income. And I suppose it's what a lot of people speculated that they might actually do. It's something where people who have a platform, and Harry and Meghan most definitely do have a platform, they do have a world stage, and they do have things of importance to say, and making keynote speeches, talking to trade associations and big corporations, community forums is one way of getting that message out there whilst also earning an income. So I am going to read the follow-up article about this, and as I go through it we will pause and kind of discuss it. So the article was written by Bianca Betancourt and was published on June the 24th at 12:51, and it reads: the Sussexes officially sign with the Obamas and Clinton speaking agency. A new Sussex era is seemingly on the horizon. Prince Harry and Meghan have officially signed a speaking engagement contract with the New York-based Harry Walker Agency. Some of you may be familiar with that, and it was originally, I think, reported in the Los Angeles Times. The renowned agency currently represents the likes of Barack and Michelle Obama, as well as Bill and Hillary Clinton. So Harry and Meghan will be in good company. Per the outlet going forward, the royal couple will engage in moderated discussions, keynote speeches and community forums as they begin their careers away from the ties of the royal family and the British monarchy. A source confirms to bazaar.com that once the Sussexes are able to return to in-person work, obviously things are on hold because of present situation, the couple is expected to participate and focus on engagements that highlight social issues and causes important to them and the world, such as racial justice, gender equality, and environmental preservation and concerns. I mean, again, I don't think the LA Times has had confirmation from Harry and Meghan spokespeople as to which issues they are going to tackle. So, again, we do not necessarily know which issues they are going to tackle, but those are some of the issues most likely to feature in their speeches. All three aforementioned subjects are causes that both Harry and Meghan promoted during their work as active senior royals. The couple is also expected to speak on mental health, another topic that Harry has remained vocal about in recent years. The causes that Harry and Meghan will focus on in their future speaking engagements are expected to relate to the foundation and mission of their new non-profit organisation, Archewell. Earlier this spring, the couple announced the development of Archewell. Well, they were kind of forced to announce it, but anyway. Named after their 1-year-old son, Archie Mountbatten Windsor. I'm sure we all know that. Due to current global health crisis, however, the two had postponed the launch of their initiative and have been privately meeting with leaders and organisations. That was reported that they had been, meeting privately behind the scenes to discuss and learn about the issues facing people directly and the challenges coming from COVID-19, coming from what's been happening with the race movement across the world, the Black Lives Matter movement. So that was widely reported. Some people were saying, you can't necessarily be sure that that's the case. I mean, again, we still can't necessarily be sure about that. But it seems likely that if they are going on the speaking circuit and, that they will be talking about important issues that matter to them. Bazaar can confirm that Harry and Meghan have no plans to partake in any speaking engagements regarding the royal family and have signed solely with Harry Walker. The Sussexes are not attached to any other agencies for any other purposes. So again, this fits with what Harry and Meghan released about, fitting in and meeting the values and standards of the royal family. This to me seems, fairly credible, or at least if it isn't credible, it's likely, it's most likely. So I'm going to head on over to the channel, the live chat, as soon as it's up. Have I not opened it? I don't actually think I've opened it yet. I'm not quite sure why I haven't opened it, but I'm going to open it now. And I'm well aware that the light is fading. In fact, I may have to put the... Oh no, it's fine. It's fine, you can still see me. I've just looked at it. Right, so... what are people saying about all of this? Sean says, I wouldn't be surprised if the royal reporters fly to the US to cover these engagements. Well, again, usually I think they're private. So if it's a private business or, a private, what they called a fundraiser, then they may not be invited. So I think they would have to be invited. And Harry and Meghan have made it perfectly clear that they will only be speaking to and inviting to their engagements in the future the people and the reporters that they want to. Canetta says, guess he's not back in the UK if he's been out in LA. The pictures were taken on Tuesday, apparently. So there is chance that Harry and Meghan may have, manoeuvred. However, I find that highly unlikely. I think they are most likely to still be in LA, especially with the current restrictions which are still in place in the UK regarding COVID-19. Sean says, who started the rumour that Harry was back in the UK? I do not know. In fact, here was the first time that I'd seen it. But like I said, those photographs were taken on Tuesday, so technically speaking, there would have been chance maybe to get to the UK, but I very much doubt it. Bev says they are both excellent speakers, yes, and can use their speaking platform to encourage donations to their foundation. It makes perfect sense, and I guess that this was what they would do. It's not just about encouraging donations to their own foundation, non-profit, their own non-profit Archewell. It will also be, as interesting keynote speakers at, corporate events and that kind of thing. So not necessarily just for their own foundation, it could be to, to the advantage of other global organisations as well. Bev says, Harry did a Zoom about the rugby team for which he is a patron, yes, and it appears that people made an incorrect assumption. Yeah, he did, and no, personally, I don't think they've had chance necessarily to move back to the UK for a visit of any kind, especially with the current restrictions which are still in place here in the UK. Cookies and Cream says the Sussexes aren't letting the negativity and smear campaign get to them or stop them. Harry and Meghan are truly making a difference. They are indeed. And Sean says, so looking forward to Harry and Meghan being diplomats and public speakers. This is what they wanted to do, not cut ribbons and wave about. They wanted to get down and dirty with real issues. Well, if this does turn out to be the case, then they most definitely will be able to do that with the platform that they have. Sean says, I find it really annoying that the royal reporters are still claiming the Sussexes are as theirs, as if they're still working for the royal family and they can still write about them all the time. Well, the one thing I've got to say that is, I don't think the royal reporters are still claiming the Sussexes as theirs. However, what they are doing is still reporting on Harry and Meghan. And just because Harry and Meghan have decided not to release any statements to the British tabloids who employ many of the royal reporters, it still doesn't stop the royal reporters, as you quite rightly said, from writing about them. They are still, getting the information. They're just getting it second-hand rather than first-hand in terms of, engagements and work. They are going on Twitter and seeing, other articles that have been written that Harry and Meghan have cooperated with or, sent pictures to, that kind of thing. So going forwards, do I think the royal reporters will just quit and stop speaking about Harry and Meghan, even though many of them have, come out and said that Harry and Meghan are irrelevant? No, I do not think that they will at all. Harry and Meghan still bring in money in terms of, headlines and newspapers and online clicks and views. So, no. If anybody, including Harry and Meghan, thought that the royal reporters would just stop writing about them, then I think, people are clutching at a false hope, because they aren't going to. And they definitely won't stop. So, whilst it's still creating money and whilst they are still a cash cow and a golden goose, it's not going to stop, and that is the reality of the situation. Celie says, I wish them both well in their respective choice of work going forwards from here on out. I think everyone does. And I'm hoping you can still see me with the light, seeing as it really is fading. Look, can you see the beautiful sunset if I turn it around? Well, not beautiful sunset, it's a sunset. There we go. So that's what we can see from my window, from my office window. So yeah, the light is kind of fading, but never mind. There we are. Lena says, I think the Queen might grab this bull by the horns and restore the Sussexes with all their demands. The royal family needs goodwill that follows this couple. If I take your question from a different angle, lots of people have said, I've read lots of comments saying, do you think that Harry and Meghan will return to the royal family at some point in the future? Now, I'm not a tarot reader or someone who can, take a car into the future and see what's going to happen. I think that Harry and Meghan will do what they said they were going to do and divide their time between the UK and the US. However, I do think their primary home will be the US, at least for the foreseeable future. I do think it's rather telling that they have decided to that they have decided to pay the $18,000 a month for Frogmore Cottage. I think if they had absolutely no intention of returning at all for any period of time, they wouldn't have paid that money. They'd have just handed Frogmore Cottage back to the royal family, back to the Crown Estates, and it would have been, given to someone else, maybe in the family, that kind of thing. So I do think that they plan to come back and visit. I think they will primarily spend their time in the US, earning their independent living as they wanted to do. In terms of, being asked to come back and support the royal family, there is always a case for anything, and there is certainly a case for that. There has been. There is a little bit of a vacuum at the moment. We have Prince Andrew not in full-time working royal duties. We have Beatrice and Eugenie who are not being used to their full potential. People are incorrectly saying that Sophie Wessex is doing more work. She's not doing any more work than she was doing before. The only difference is that the royal reporters are reporting on the work that she is doing, because she's always done that work. It just hasn't garnered the press attention. So Harry and Meghan leaving has left a bit of a vacuum, and the royal reporters, for lack of Harry and Meghan engagements, are turning to other royals. And the next, most attractive, glamorous royal is Sophie Wessex. So of course she is getting a lot of the attention. So yeah, Lee can see me on his TV. Thank you. Hello. So yeah, in terms of being asked to come back, I'm sure they didn't want them to necessarily go in the first place. This is something Harry and Meghan really wanted to do, and people can speculate all they want about the who's, whys, what fors behind the scenes. Truth is, we don't know any of that. We can only guess and speculate. You can listen to lots of different narratives about that. But no, in the future, Harry may feel a bit of a pull, especially when his father is king, because the royal family are raised with such a sense of duty. They don't know any other life. Even though Harry has spent time in the army with normal soldiers, it's army life is still not the same as civilian life. And Harry hasn't lived that life. He's living it now. He's experiencing it now. But royals are raised differently. They think differently in terms of duty and service. It's country first. And I think when his father is king, he may feel a little bit of a gravitational pull to come and help, which of course is what he wanted to do. But that idea that he put forward was deemed to be not functionable, not workable within the confines of what the monarchy has to operate in. It's very nuanced in terms of why the monarchy is still even in existence at all. It's the people that allow the monarchy to still be there. So it's very nuanced, and if you're not necessarily in the UK, you may not actually feel it. But Harry, being raised in the royal family, will most definitely have that sense of duty and family loyalty there. Even though, he stepped back as a senior member of the working royal family, that will still be there, that will always be there. They are his family, regardless of what anyone else likes to think or say. So in the future, may he feel a pull to come back? Maybe. We don't know. We do not know what is going to happen in the future. Joanne says, reading more about Sophie, she is devoted to her duties. She is, and she always has been. It's just that the royal reporters haven't really shown it before. That is all. Tuts39 says, it'll be interesting to see if when Charles is king, he'll allow them to go on royal tours, but living financially independent. They're popular and extremely charismatic, and they bring in lots of dollars. I think if Charles thought that was workable, he would have probably put that case forward, and then that would be the model that we would be seeing now. So if I have to go out on a limb, I would probably say that Charles doesn't think that fits with the royal family's way of working going forward. However, when he is king, we will see what happens. Okay, so I am going to go now. I've spoken about the story that I want to, and before the light completely fades me, and fails me rather, I will wish you all a very good evening and a good night and a good day wherever you are. do make sure that you stay safe. So, if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment, share on social media, and hit the subscribe button. Also, thank you so much for everyone who is a channel member. I really do appreciate it. And of course, anybody who supports me on Patreon as well. Thank you so much. So that's all that's left for me to say. In a not so sunny Shropshire at the moment, but still very hot. From me to you all, mwah, and goodbye.